We had a comment come up recently during our declutter challenge, and I want to address it on the podcast. The challenge of the day or the task of the day was to sort through your mail pile or your stack of papers that was piling up on your desk. And the goal was to get it done within 15 minutes. But someone had commented that this task scared her because she knew she was going to need to take so much time to not only digest what was on each item, but then to take action on it. And it was just very daunting for her. So if you are dealing with a daunting stack of mail or that pile of papers, I want to share a trick to help you get through it quickly.
Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast.
Now, before we dive into this episode, I just have to say we hit an amazing milestone. We are on episode 250, which is absolutely insane. So, we have been doing this for about 2.5 years. I've been podcasting. And we're at 250 episodes, and we just recently went from the top 3% of podcasts globally to the top 2.5%. And I just noticed that the other day. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening. This is so cool. And we're just going to keep going because I have still been loving it and I get a lot of feedback that you guys are loving it. So I hope that that continues. And I just want to thank you for being here and being part of this podcast. I wouldn't be able to do it without your support for sure. So, when we are going into today's episode, it's going to be pretty quick and simple. That's kind of how we do episodes around here. But I wanted to address this one because I feel like it's very relevant to so many people, whether you have a small stack of mail or papers and maybe they're hanging out in your mail slot or mail holder, maybe they're piled up on the kitchen counter, maybe they're in your bedroom sitting on your dresser, or they're piling up on the desk in your office. No matter where this stack of papers is, if it gets too big, it can be very daunting. And even if it's a small stack, it can be very daunting. And I know some people have multiple very large stacks on their in their area as well. So no matter what type of stack you have, if you are going through papers, there is a very simple process to do it. Yes, it does take time, but what I love about this particular process is that you can move through it very quickly and then come back to what you need to so that you actually like move through and make progress at least in the beginning. So this will be especially helpful if you do have a big pile. So, but like I said, this was brought up during our declutter challenge, and this was one of the tasks. And the goal was to get those things done within 15 minutes. But that isn't always the case for every task that you can tackle. So, if you do have a pile of papers or a stack of mail that you're trying to get through, even if you don't think it's like very big, we can get very distracted very quickly. So I would highly recommend that you put a timer on for yourself. Depending on how big your stack is, maybe give yourself 5 minutes, give yourself 10 minutes, give yourself 15, 20, 30, whatever you think is going to keep you on track. You can always reset that timer. So I would actually say go less to begin with and then move as quickly as possible through the pile. And if you need to reset the timer to give yourself a little bit more time because it goes off during that task, then reset it for a little bit longer if you need to. But keeping the timer short will help you stay really focused because you're trying to beat that timer. And that will help you get through things much faster than without a timer. At least if you have a brain that works like mine, that is going to help you stay on task for sure. So, when you are gathering up the courage to go through this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your stack and just set it next to you. So, if you have multiple really large stacks, just start with one at a time. And what you're going to do is give yourself space to create four piles. And a lot of times I talked about 3, and then when, this commenter commented, I told her to create a 4th pile because we're gonna need to come back to certain things. So the piles that you're going to create, so you're going to have a space for pile 1 is trash. It's just stuff that you need to get rid of, whether it needs to be, shredded or burned or or just tossed in the recycle bin. This is just your trash pile. So if you need to have a like shred pile separate, then you can put those next to each other. So then technically you'll have a 5th pile for shredding. But really you just need a trash pile. It's the junk, it's the stuff that you know right away when you look at it that you can get rid of. Pile number 2 is items to file. This is stuff that you need to hold on to, whether it is maybe like medical bills or something that you need to file. Maybe it's an invoice or something that you need to keep on hand for taxes, whatever the case may be. If it is something you need to file, that is your second pile. And then you have a third pile that is need to take action on. So this is your action pile. This is the pile that you not necessarily need to take action like filing, but it's like you need to respond to this. You need to pay the bill. You need to write a letter back to this person. You need to send a thank you card to this person. Like whatever the case may be, you need to take some type of action on this pile. And then pile number 4 is your TBD. This is to be decided. You aren't sure. You need to look at it again. So, what this allows you to do is take your big stack of papers or your big stack of mail and take the first item and very quickly decide, is it trash? Do I need to file it away? Do I need to take action on it? Or do I need to look at it again and decide later? So if you are kind of hemming and hawing and trying to figure out what to do with it, put it in the TBD pile, put it in that pile number 4, because you need to get through this pile quickly so that you can start making progress. So if you need to come back to it, put it in pile 4 and keep moving through the pile. Once you do this and you get through your full pile, that's amazing. You can keep going to the second pile if you have another pile that you need to get through, and just do this very quickly. Like again, you're trying to beat that timer. And then once you are through your stack, you now have 4 piles to take care of. So, like I said, if you have a trash pile, go ahead and put it in your recycle bin. If you have a shred pile, shred it right away. Like this is all being done at the same time. If you have a pile of things to file away, go ahead and file those. I did an episode recently about organization, and this is really where this piece comes into play. If you have too many organized files and it's preventing you from actually taking action to file things because it feels stressful to maintain, consider doing an annual file where it's just, 2026 bills or 2026 invoices, 2026 receipts. Like you don't have to divide them out by each category of like the specific company or the specific bill that you're paying. Just focus on the year and keep it super simple. If you need to go back to it, all of them will be in that file in the year, and you can get really particular about things later on if you need to, but you need to find a system that will help you maintain the organization in the meantime. And then pile number 3 is the items you need to take action on. So if this is something that you can take action on right now, go ahead and respond to them very quickly. Again, keep yourself on a timer so that you can get through it quickly. If you need to come back to it, set some time on your calendar right now to plug in so that you can come back to those and you have a block of time blocked out so that you can actually go back and take action on these items. And then pile number 4, this is where you repeat this process. If you have a stack of things in pile number 4 for the TBD, where you need to look at these things again, you need to decide what to do with them again, you're going to go through this process again. And now you have a little bit more time. It's a much smaller pile. You can go back through it and decide, do you need to trash it? Do you need to file it? Do you need to take action on it? And get through that pile. So that is how you very quickly get rid of these stacks of papers and these stacks of mail so that you can move forward and move on with your day. A lot of times the funny thing is like these stacks are driving us crazy. They end up moving from counter to counter or we keep shoving them aside. It's always like, "Oh, we'll get to it later, we'll get to it later, but we'll get to it later" because it feels so daunting. And then when you actually start the process and you have a system like this where you can move through it very quickly and get done with it, a lot of times it only takes you 10 minutes to get through it. And then it's like, oh, why did I push that off so long? Because now it feels so much better to have that space cleared away. So it's a process that, yes, it's annoying and a lot of times it feels daunting, but when you have a super simple system that helps you move through, it is so much more approachable and it's easier to get through and it doesn't feel like such a dreaded task. So I hope that you have found this helpful and I hope it helps you get rid of those massive stacks and piles of papers that just are feeling kind of cluttery and they drive you nuts. So, a really quick recap on what to do is you just take the big stack and create a space to have four different piles. So, pile one is trash, pile two is to file, pile three is your action pile, and pile four is TBD. This is to be decided. You need to look at this again and quickly run through your stack of papers or mail and distribute them into your piles as quickly as you possibly can with a timer timing you to help keep you focused and on track. And then you can quickly filter through that stack, get them all into your sorted piles, and then you can actually move through and take care of the piles. So, pile one, you can toss away because it's trash. Pile two, go ahead and file it right away, get it out of there, get it taken care of. Pile number three, either decide to take action on it right now while you're still working through this pile, or schedule some time on your calendar to actually take action on those items. And then pile number four, you can repeat this process until you have nothing in pile number four. It gives you just a little bit more time to see those things again, digest that a little bit more, and understand, do you need to put it in trash to file, or is it something you need to take action on? And then this will help you dwindle down all of those stacks of papers and those piles of mail that keep coming in. And I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you again for being here for 250 episodes. That's absolutely crazy. But I will catch you back here on the next episode.
Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.